There's a lot of people think surrender. They go, that's weakness, like giving up. And I'm like, no, no, no. Well, if you look at it, the quite literal sense of the metaphor, if you're in battle, right, with an enemy, and you surrender, it's a bad thing because you're giving up. But I always look at it as like, what if on the other side it's not an enemy, it's God. So really, who you're surrendering to is what's best for you. It's like your own fate. It's you and God out of contract. It's like, hey, this is what really is going to bring my soul to life. Okay, well, stop fighting me. That's really what it is. So surrender becomes the greatest thing you could do. And for me, the biggest transformation from surrender is realizing that if you get out of the way, life is already designed to perfectly unfold. So any imperfection in life is caused by your own interference with it. And that's the greatest thing I've learned. I was saying this to my family yesterday. I'm like, it's so weird. I walked away from the high ticket business, right? The high ticket coaching world, the whole world of that. And I'm like, I'm done with this. At some point I thought I'll be, a prophet walking around in India, like healing people or something. We all go through that phase when you go through this kind of stuff. So I outgrew. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But God like brought me right back into business 10 times deeper and just like on a serious upgrade. And to give you an example, now I work with a friend. I'm an equity owner in a business. And this just came into my reality. Like I didn't chase this. I didn't ask for it. I didn't even know I could do this. But I'm head of growth for a company that's franchising globally one of their businesses. So I'm tasked to design an entire franchise development training program, which is just a fancy way of saying a coaching program for companies. And I'm like, I didn't know this is possible. So I'm building this whole thing where we have to train franchisees to on how to, after they buy a franchise, how to kickstart the business, get really good, run to a 6-week battle plan boot camp, tell them how to get clients, tell them how to do this, but they got to sell like what the business's franchise model is. And I was just sitting there working on this. I'm like, and it's a generous salary. Like it's my first time. I'm going backwards. I went from like the online millionaire to like corporate job. I'm like, it's the reverse story, but I'm loving it. I'm like, this is great. I don't know why people knock this down, especially if you like who you work with and you like what you do, right?
Yeah.
So I like the friend I'm working with is a good friend of mine, and I'm building this, and I'm like, how did God know? How did God know that all those years of online business coaching would actually turn into something 100 times more valuable? Like if you guys take your online marketing skills and you go into the corporate world, oh my God, you're God walking around to them because they don't know the basics of online marketing. I'm like, this is normal stuff for me. I was teaching this to a 24-year-old to make $1 million, but like you guys in franchise worlds, of corporate and companies and all these, they have no idea. They don't know how to communicate this. I'm like, so my skills in the coaching world was worth at best $2-3 million a year, right? In this world, it's worth anywhere from 20 to 30 to $100 million in an exit if I know what I'm doing with someone. I'm like, wow. So God, like I withdrew my mind from money. I didn't want to do any of this, and God somehow threw me deeper back into the world in business and giving me 100 times more work. I'm pretty much getting an MBA in business right now because the franchise business is a staffing business. So I have to learn everything about franchise development training, everything about the legal portion of like buying a business, and everything about organizational structure because the business is about staffing. So I'm like getting a whole degree. He was laughing. The person I'm working with, he goes, by the time we're done here, you're going to be an investment banker. I'm like, I didn't
Love
sign
that.
up for this. But see, surrender, it just takes you on that journey, that transformation. It takes you places you would never gone. It shows you who you really are, like what's really possible when you get out of the way. The smaller, Michael Singer says, the smaller I became, the self became, my ego became, the bigger my life became. It's powerful stuff,
Love
man.
that. If you want to save time on watching all the episodes, but still get all the gold nuggets that we find from interviewing these 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs, then you can get all of that inside of the 2 Comma Club newsletter. Just go to 2ccnewsletter.com and subscribe.